Hey, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you all for being here to help us celebrate what I have now learned is the 22nd annual scholarship recognition ceremony. So thank you all for being here, particularly for our donors. Thank you for doing what you've done, and you can see what benefit it has, because we have the best medical students in the United States, and some of them are here tonight, and you can see what your support is providing. So really, very much so. This year, we're highlighting the Lisa S. Bunin, MD, Endowed Scholarship. Lisa, like me, was a scholarship student in medical school, although I was not nearly smart enough to get into this medical school. Not that I'm bitter about that or anything. But it did allow Lisa to ultimately pursue her path of being an ophthalmologist, and she's been quite successful in her career. But given her background, given what Hopkins gave to her, she was so very interested in creating her scholarship to support a medical student here, and we thank her for that. You know, it is such a meaningful thing, I think, for all of us to be here, and as we've talked about this event before, maybe there isn't anything so meaningful for those of you who support students than to be around the students that you support, and vice versa. I think it is a wonderful way to make that connection and really do what I think is woven into the fabric of Hopkins from our earliest beginnings, and that's the close relationship of philanthropy to real mission that Johns Hopkins himself, of course, started, but has continued throughout our history. In fact, I learned an interesting story when we were preparing this tonight. So all of you will remember the 4 physicians of Hopkins, one of whom being Dr. Kelly. So evidently in 1932, Dr. Kelly was approached by a second-year medical student named Charlie Stevenson. And Charlie was a second-year medical student who was struggling to pay his tuition. I don't know how accurate this portion of the story is, but he was able to pay the first semester tuition of $365. It's about what it is today, roughly speaking. But that was in part because he had worked out a deal with the hospital to do some work in the evenings, helping clean, et cetera, et cetera. So he approached Dr. Kelly and asked if Dr. Kelly could help support his tuition. And Dr. Kelly said he would do that. In fact, he'd give him the $365 for the next semester and support his next 2 years of medical school with one condition, which was, and by the way, don't pay me back, with one condition, which is you have to do it yourself in the future. And so he graduates in 1934. 10 years later, so 1944, he comes to the School of Medicine and says, yes, this happened for me. I would like to support and endow a scholarship for a medical student. And they said, we have just the person. Second-year medical student like you were, 1944. This young man's name, Victor McKusick. And so, as many of you know, became, well, arguably speaking, the father of modern genetics. But most importantly for us, 60 years of being the Osler professor, leader, friend, mentor, and in fact created his own scholarship with the same notion of paying it forward for those students. So it's really that cycle of goodness that supports really, I think, the continued culture of excellence, of commitment, of community service that our students are known for, that go out into their careers and repeat that virtuous cycle. So to all of you who support our medical students in this way, thank you. Thank you so much. And to all the students, I know you're grateful, and I'm so glad you're here. We have the best class, and all of you are just the best representatives of this school, so thank you for being so. Now, I was told there's been some questions about, so this is completely unlinked, what the heck's going on around the campus here? And so we have one building you can see right on Monument Street that is getting close to looking like it's done. It's about a total being completed about 24 months. So that's where the old, for those of you who were here long ago, that's where the old Brady building was, the original home for the Department of Urology. That building was taken down, as you can now see. You can see a wing put up there, and the other elements of the CMSC, Children's Medical Surgical Center, the old home of pediatrics, those wings are now under reconstruction. And one of those wings will be opened this coming September. And then the next 2 wings, so it's a 3-wing building, in a year out, so September 26, 25. It is all research building. 2 wings are wet bench space. 1 wing is dry lab space, if you will. It will have a very much, not in totality, but very much a neuroscience flavor to it. There'll be literal neuroscientists in there. There'll be biomedical engineers whose research is primarily focused in neuroscience. The Department of Neurosurgery, the Pain Institute of that has very much obviously neurologic research focused. Neurology will have a very large focus in there, some of their MS research. Psychiatry will have some space in there. Some of the modeling that they do, animals and otherwise, for schizophrenia will be in there. Pediatrics will have some in there that's not so neuroscience focused, and some of our important antibiotic-resistant research will be going on in there. So that's really very exciting for us. But even more exciting, and you can't quite see it yet, but when you return next year, you will see a gigantic hole in the ground right on the corner, right here, actually, will be on the corner of Monument and Broadway, where you will remember sits the Hampton House, which is historically part of the School of Public Health. You know, some of you, unfortunately, know Reed Hall, because you probably spent more time than you'd like in that building. The Cooley Center, all of that will be gone. We will be putting up a 550,000 square foot new, in fact, I can say this with great confidence, the most contemporary research building in the world will be placed there, which will house 5 separate kinds of thematic research neighborhoods. Of course, in large part, about 80% will be the School of Medicine, but other divisions of the university as well, the Krieger Arts and Sciences, School of Public Health, Whiting School of Engineering. And so we're really very excited about the absolute future of, in part, the DNA of this great university, but this School of Medicine in particular, that we do research that changes lives because it's translated right into human beings. And so that's really very exciting for us. So there you go, Roy. So with no further ado, beyond my thanks to all of you again for both being here, for your generosity, and for you students for all that you do and represent for this school. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Lisa Bunin to the podium, and we'd love to hear your story. So everyone, thank you for being here. Lisa.
Thank you. Well, I think you stole my talk. Victor McCusick, oh my gosh, he was amazing. If those of you who didn't know him, and all of you medical students, you will get a kick out of this. You know how you present to your professors, and you've taken the history, and you come and you write everything down, and you do your best to present, and you thought you've done everything because it has to be right, and then Victor McCusick would walk in and find a finding you didn't. Like he could feel the tip of the spleen in sickle cell seed disease, which we missed, you know, things like that. He was amazing. You learned so much from him at the bedside, and he's one of my mentors and a great, great person, so it's so nice to hear that. So, excuse me, my voice is a little weak, so I'm going to use this. Good evening. It's my pleasure to be here tonight to celebrate the Johns Hopkins Scholarship Program. And I want to thank all of the donors, and I want to congratulate all of the deserving recipients. This is a program that is very near and dear to my heart. You see, I'm from a very modest family, and I had to pay my own way through college. I worked 2 to 3 jobs while going to college, and I took out loans to pay for my education. When it was time for medical school, Johns Hopkins offered me the gift of a full tuition scholarship, which was amazing to me. By the way, Harvard didn't, so I turned them down. And what you said is right. We really have the best and the brightest here, and we have to have something to offer them so that they can come to a great place like this. So I was humbled, and I was very eager to be at such an incredible place, to learn from the best, to be taught to think outside the box, and to pursue one of the most competitive fields of ophthalmology. I don't believe I would have gotten into ophthalmology had I not been at Johns Hopkins Medical School. To share a little of my own personal journey, I'm an ophthalmologist and oculoplastic surgeon. I'm in private practice for 35 years. I know I started when I was 12, okay, but 35 years goes by fast. And I am blessed. I am so blessed to make a difference every day. I make people see better, look better, and feel better every day. But as amazing as it is to give someone the gift of sight by taking their cataract out, it is more than that. It is giving them a new life, the independence, a better lifestyle, another chance. Let me tell you a story about a 12-year-old girl who had juvenile diabetes and was doing very poorly in school. She was getting C's, and she was treated as if she were a dumb C student. When I examined her and found that she had cataracts, I scheduled her for surgery. When I removed the first cataract, she was amazed by what she could see. Suddenly, the world came into focus. She could see the board. Colors were crisp. Life was brand new. When I wheeled her into the operating room in mid-December to have her second eye done, she looked up at me and said, "Dr. Bunin, I'm getting my Christmas present early." I said, "Really? Kylie, what are you getting?" She says, "I'm getting my cataract out." I nearly lost it. That was, we make such a difference. About a month later, I went to her school and I showed her class what this little girl had been seeing by having them look at an eye chart and then having them try to see it by looking through wax paper. I then had them cut a hole in the wax paper so they could show the vision after cataract surgery. I told her and her teacher that she had been getting C's with D eyes. And now that she had A eyes, I expected her to get A's. And she did. And she eventually went into medicine because of her experience. This is the gift of being in medicine. We are often unaware of how much we touch people's lives, and we can change them. But it is more than just having done her surgery or giving someone medicine that changes it. It is the way you interact with the patient and make them feel good about themselves that has a lasting impact. I was sharing with some of the first-year medical students, we were talking. Maya Angelou is one of my favorites, and she says, "People may not remember what you did, but they remember how you made them feel." In recent years, I've had a gap year medical mentoring program in my practice. I bring in 2 to 3 college graduates headed into medical school or PA school, and they work with me for a year, hands-on with me and my staff. This is not shadowing, it's learning the art of patient care, real time. As part of this training, my students also learn about personal leadership and life trajectory. We talk about the butterfly effect. Where you end up all depends on where you start. Starting my medical career at Johns Hopkins changed my life and my life trajectory. And that's why I'm here speaking to you tonight. We can continue to have a lasting impact on medicine by mentoring and by helping our young, wonderful, brilliant medical students financially through donating to the scholarship program. It is a gift to give back. And I am grateful to all the donors who have made gifts. I hope that all the recipients tonight will remember how much your donor's gift helped you and will continue this tradition as you go further along in your career. I did not know that story, Ted, but that's the same way that I feel, that it is our duty to then give back as we are fortunate to continue this legacy. It is a sacred calling and a privilege to practice medicine, to care for patients, and they let us into our lives. It's an incredible honor to be chosen as a Johns Hopkins medical student, to be at one of the greatest medical institutions in the United States, if not the world. Each of you was chosen to be part of this legacy. Here, you are taught to question, be curious, learn all you can, make a difference, and find ways to improve medicine and patients' lives. And part of carrying on this legacy is by supporting physicians in training so that they can achieve their dreams and give back and help others. I am so grateful for what Johns Hopkins gave me. I always gave what I could to the Jenny Lee Batson Memorial Scholarship Fund, one of my classmates who tragically died a few years after medical school. Later, I also gave to the scholarship fund honoring Dean Seidel, who I loved. At first, only a few $100s, and as my practice grew, I increasingly gave more, $5,000, $10,000, and then more. I dreamed of endowing my own scholarship fund, but I thought I had to donate the money all at once. Did you know the minimum needed to endow a scholarship is $100,000? But then I learned it could be donated over 5 years, and I was giving that much each year already. So I thought, I thought about it in my will, but I thought, why not do this while I'm alive, to share my good fortune now and to help make a difference now? So I want to pass that same helping hand on to other students so that they can become caring, successful physicians and continue the Hopkins legacy. You all make a difference. It is so satisfying to see the results of my gift and to meet the students and learn their stories. It is a gift to give back. So thank you. You all can make a difference, and I ask you to help us to continue this great legacy. So thanks. And now, I would like to introduce you to this year's Bunin Scholar, Rita Gupta. Unfortunately, she was unable to be with us tonight, but we will soon see a video with her remarks. I enjoyed meeting Ria over Zoom, and I know you will enjoy her reflections. Ria, I understand you're going to be live streaming and watching this, so I want to tell you how proud I am of your journey, and I'm so glad you have been picked as the Bunin Scholar.
Hi all, my name is Ria Gupta, and I'm a second-year medical student. I apologize I cannot be here in person to give this speech. However, I'm so honored to be virtually speaking at this event today and virtually standing alongside Dr. Bunin as her contributions to my education are recognized. I truly feel like I stand on the shoulders of giants here at Hopkins, and Dr. Bunin is one of them. I would like to take a moment to thank all of our donors present this evening. Your support of students like me has allowed us to pursue our dreams of becoming physicians and making our own marks on the world. When I first connected with Dr. Bunin, she told me a story about how she wrote Christmas cards for all of her patients during her time at the VA in Atlanta. This story resonated with me because I remember once when I was shadowing in pediatric cardiology here at Hopkins, I connected with a few families in the pediatric SICU. As cliche as it sounds, I just knew our connections did not end there. So as a very new and budding Taylor Swift fan, what did I do? I ended up making friendship bracelets and writing notes for the patients I saw the day before. When I delivered these, I did not expect each patient's families to hang my notes on their walls. I was so touched. Sharing this parallel story and sentiment with Dr. Bunin made me realize not only how great minds think alike, but also how grateful I am to be a part of like-minded individuals who are making a profound impact in their community. Dr. Bunin, without your contribution, I would not have met my wonderful friends in Baltimore who bring my favorite pick-me-up, a mascarpone and jam croissant from Patango, when I'm stressed about school. I would not have held a human heart in an anatomy lab and audibly said, "This is really freaking cool," and use it to catalyze my interest in cardiology. Side note, Dr. Ziegelstein, I know you're there, and I will catch you on the wards this fall. I would not have met my wonderful ex-advisor, Dr. Nate Irvin, who is one of the biggest reasons I'm still here today and never fails to remind me just how much grit and potential I have to take that next step and keep going. I want to take a moment and give him a shout out. During my white coat ceremony, he met my parents and told them that they raised their daughter as a fighter. That is one of my core memories of med school, and I will carry that with me for life. To this day, it fuels me to keep going. I would not have been surrounded by faculty members with whom every time I interact with, I leave the room and go, gosh darn, I want to be just like them when I grow up. Lastly, I would not have experienced the feeling of being at the right place at the right time. Med school is hard, but I always carry this gut feeling that I'm here for a reason, I was chosen for a reason, and I belong here for a reason. Dr. Bunin, I am so glad that you are now part of that reason.
Isn't she great? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Roy Ziegelstein. I'm the Vice Dean for Education, and it's really a pleasure to address you. It's really hard to follow those talks, so I'm going to sit down. Yeah, Charlie, that was you applauding, correct? Yeah, I know. Well, I have some prepared comments. On behalf of the entire School of Medicine community, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of our esteemed scholarship donors. Your generosity serves as a beacon of hope, guiding aspiring healthcare professionals toward their dreams and aspirations. So this is how ChatGPT began its response to the prompt, write a brief speech to thank scholarship donors in a School of Medicine. Not bad, right? I'm going to tell you how ChatGPT continued. In the field of medicine, education is not just an investment in individuals. It's an investment in the well-being of communities, nations, and ultimately humanity itself. Your unwavering support enables deserving students to pursue their education without the burden of financial constraints, empowering them to focus wholeheartedly on their studies, research, and clinical experiences. You know, I have to say, it's pretty good, right? But it's not me. You see, ChatGPT had all the advantages in life. It was created with a silver spoon in its algorithm. It doesn't really know what it's like to depend on the generosity of a donor like you, as Dr. Bunin just said. It doesn't have the sense of that it wouldn't be where it is today if not for your gift, like Dr. Bunin said. But our students know, and I do too. As the child of an immigrant father and a mother who was raised during the Great Depression, I would not have been able to attend college, and certainly not medical school, without the generosity of donors like you. And I know personally what your gift means. That's something that ChatGPT can't ever emulate. I thank you. Our students thank you. Our school thanks you. Those are really my comments. Those are actually my words. I also want to thank not only the people in the room, but those who joined us remotely by live stream. There's no doubt that I need to thank you, the school needs to thank you for those of you who took the time and made the trip to be here, but I think it's an incredible sign of dedication for those also who joined by live stream, and I really thank them as well. And in fact, maybe the people by live stream deserve more thanks because you now have to get your own dinner. But before I end my comments, I want to thank a few more people. First, I would like to ask you to join me in thanking Helen Kennelly. Where is Helen? There. Now, Helen doesn't do it alone. I'm not going to call out everybody's name, but there are a lot of people around here. When you see them, people like Chad and Rachel and others, please thank them as well. This is a hard event to put on. It's my understanding is that Dr. DeWeese's daughter is getting married in September, correct? And so he knows what it's like to plan a wedding. This is something close. Jack Fix, exactly. This is something close to that. And before I end my comments, I want to acknowledge and ask you all to acknowledge someone else, and that is a very special graduate of our medical school from the class of 1989, a good friend, a colleague, and a real mensch, and that's Alan Gelber. Alan, where are you? There he is. He's right in the center of the room. So those people who are students in the room, you can recognize them because they're a good bit younger than other people, and they're wearing white coats. They can thank Alan for their presence here. Yes, they can thank their donor, for sure, for the fact that they were able to come here. But in terms of their admission to the medical school, that you can thank Alan for, because Alan is leaving that role at the end of June after about 7 years, right, Alan? About 7 years in that role. And if you just do math, quick math, he's admitted more than 800 students to our school. These are not just 800 students, right, Alan? I mean, these are 800 people who are going to lead medicine for the next 50 years plus. I mean, it's extraordinary to think about your impact. And not just impact, but for those of you that have had the opportunity to meet Alan, it's his passion and enthusiasm and just love for the school and for the students that will be missed by all students and all applicants to the school going forward. So thank you, Alan, very much for everything that you've done for our medical school. And it's not that he's leaving, it's not that he's retiring or anything like that, but he's leaving this position, which is a really important one in the school. So the recorded portion of this event is now over, and I'm supposed to let everybody know. Helen, you'll tell me if I'm saying the wrong thing. I'm not supposed to let anybody know. Okay. Helen, I'm going to turn things over to Helen. Is that okay? But so the recorded portion is not over. Oh, the recorded portion is just beginning. Okay, I am now going to sing the comments that I prepared tonight. Is that okay? It's not okay. Helen, so Charlie, I want to say, Charlie applauded when I said I was just going to step down. Helen told me I shouldn't sing. Okay, thank you.
Thank you all. We just wanted to end this evening inviting members of the class of 2024, of whom we have many, to come up and just state their future plans, their residency location, their specialty if they'd like to. And we have some students from the Art as Applied to Medicine program too. We'd like to celebrate you. So if you want to, come up.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew Frazier. I'm headed back home to Indianapolis, Indiana, while I'll be doing pediatrics at Riley Children's Hospital.
Hi, everyone. My name is Albert Holler. My scholarship donor is Melissa McDonough, who can't be here today. But I'll be staying here at Hopkins and joining the Osler Medical Residency.
Hi everyone, my name's Michelle Park. I'm one of the Reed Scholars. I'm going into internal medicine. I'll be at Beverly Hills Cedars-Sinai Medical Center.
I'm Adobe Agachiku, recipient of the Brecker Scholarship Fund, and I'll be going to Children's National in DC in June. Very excited, and I want to be a pediatric rheumatologist.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Oscar Reyes. I'm one of the Paul Liebman Scholars, now 8 years at Hopkins, and I'm thrilled to share that I'll be doing dermatology residency at the Harvard Combined Program. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Charmaine. I matched into pediatrics here at Johns Hopkins, and I hope to do primary care.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Miguel Ramirez. I'm a recipient of the Carroll Student Aid Fund. Thank you so much for your support, and I match into psychiatry, and I'll be going to Stanford University.
Hello, everyone. I'm Raphael. I'm going to radiology at Yale, and I'm a Crowley Scholar, and thank you very much for your support on this 4 years.
Good evening. I'm David Zhao. I'm a recipient of the Zoutland Scholarship. I'll be beginning my ophthalmology residency at Massachusetts Eye and Ear Infirmary.
Hey everyone, I'm Pratik. Thank you to the Wassermans for the Temkin Scholarship. I'll be pursuing interventional radiology at Massachusetts General after this. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Laheen Amlani. Thank you to the Thompson family. I'll be staying at Johns Hopkins to train in orthopedic surgery.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tanya Burge. I am a second year from the Department of Arts Applied to Medicine. I'm a recipient of the Chester Reader Award, and upon graduation, I'll be pursuing opportunities with 2D animation and patient education. So.
Good evening. My name is Chloe Wooden. I'm a graduate student in the Department of Art as Applied to Medicine. I'm the recipient of the Frank H. Netter Memorial Scholarship in Medical Art, and upon graduation, I'm interested in pursuing patient education and 2D animation.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Kellner-Pontone. I'm also in the Art as Applied to Medicine department. I'm the recipient of the Dieter Scholarship for Creative Design Excellence, and I will be pursuing a 2D illustration career.
Hi, so great to see you all. I'm also a graduate student in the Department of Art as Applied to Medicine. I am the lucky recipient of the Howard Bartner Scholarship for Excellence in Art as Applied to Medicine, and I'm super excited to pursue interactives in medical illustration for public health and patient education. Congratulations, class of 2024.
And the good news is I did not prepare comments or ask ChatGPT how to end this. So this is the end of the live stream recording. Thank you for joining us. Salads will be served, and then you'll be invited to a buffet dinner. Thank you all so much.